Welcome to Stem Hub. Today, we'll be dealing with indices. So first of all, what is indices? I'll have to explain in a term that every one of us is going to understand. If a number multiplies itself a particular number of times, the number is said to be in an index form. For example, if I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. How many times does 2 multiply itself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 2 raised to the power of 5. This is in index form. This is the index form of it. If you remember in your year 8, you are told to look for HCF using index form. So this is the index form. Are we together? So now, moving on, what is indices? Indices is gotten from the word index, which simply means power. It means power, right? So if I say a raised to the power of t, this is the power or index. While a is the base. And these indices, it has laws. There are different laws that guides indices. Remember, in mathematics, we deal with laws that guide it in solving. So now we'll be looking at the laws of indices. So first of all, the laws of indices. The first law I'll be taking note of is what I call the multiplication law, or rather, let's start with the addition law. The addition law. And this law states that if a raised power n is multiplying a raised power n, the solution will be equals to a raised power m plus n, provided that the bases are the same. Is that clear? Once we have the same basis and they are multiplying each other, all we just need to do is to pick one of the base and add up the power. For example, if I have, let's say, 2 raised to the power 3 times 2 raised to the power 2. Remember, in your primary school, or rather in your year 7, if you are told to solve this type of thing, you will do 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 raised to the power 3, right? And 2 raised to the power 2, 2 times 2. And you have 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, 16, and 16 times 2 will give you what? 32, right? But using indices, you can get the answer very fast. 2 raised to the power 3 times 2 raised to the power 2 will just simply give us 2 raised to the power 3 plus 2. And 2 raised to the power 3 plus 2 will be 2 raised to the power 5. And 2 raised to the power 5 will simply give us what? 32. Because 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, and 16 times 2 will give us 32. So that is that for the addition law. The next law is the subtraction law, that says if a raised to the power n is dividing a raised to the power n, it will give us a raised to the power m minus n. Example, if I have, let's say, 2 raised to the power 13 divided by 2 raised to the power 7, the answer is simply 2 raised to the power 13 minus 7, which will give me 2 raised to the power 6. And we know that 2 raised to the power 6 is equals to 64. If 2 raised to the power 5 is 32, if we multiply it by 2, you will get 64. That is the second law. Then the next law is what I call the product law. What does the product law mean? The product law states that if a raised to the power n is in bracket with raised to the power n. Remember, when we talk about bracket, it means multiplication, right? In word mass. This will give us a raised to the power m times n, which is equals to a raised to the power mn. Example, 2 raised to the power a raised to the power b will simply give us 2 raised to the power ab, because a will multiply by b. Then the next law I will talk about is the zero index law. The zero index law simply states that if a raised to the power 0 is equals to 1, provided that where a itself is not equals to 0. As long as a is not equals to 0, a raised power 0 is 1. That means anything raised power 0 will give me 1. If I say a to stem hub raised power 0, my answer is supposed to be 1. Are we together? So let me try to prove this law, why a raised power 0 is equals to 1. Okay, watch. If I have, let's say, a raised power n divided by a raised power n, right? I can do this from indices law to be a raised power m minus n, which is equals to a raised power 0, right? And I say that a raised power 0 is 1. So let's take a look at this. This a raised power n is the same as a raised power m all over a raised power n. A raised power m here is 1, a raised power n here is 1, which is equals to 1. So therefore, a raised power 0 is 1. Now the fifth law is what I call the fractional index law. The fractional index law states that if a raised power t over n, how can I write this a raised power t over n? Is the nth root of a all raised power of t. The nth root of a all raised to the power of t. So if I have, let's say, 32 raised power 3 over 2. I know you can use your calculator to get this, but me, I do not need my calculator because I have the knowledge of indices, right? So if I want to solve this, this will give me, remember, applying this law, this will give me the second root of 32 raised to power of what? 3. What would multiply itself to give you 32? Nothing, right? Nothing. So the answer is this. Are we together? So what if I also have, let's say, 9 raised power 3 over 2, right? This will give me the second root of 9 raised to power of 3. And we know that the second root of 9 will give me 3 because 3 times 3 is 9. So that will give me 3 raised to power of 3. And 3 raised to power of 3 is equals to what? 27. I hope with this you've understood the laws of indices. This is the first part of indices. Watch out for the second part of indices. Do not forget to like, to share, to subscribe to your friends to learn more with Ezuko STEM Hub. See you in the next video.